All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again to another Google Plus Hangout for Channels B. My name is Victor Matthias, and today we're looking at agriculture. A lot of people have been talking about agriculture as another means of investing or saving your money, as well as another means of investing, and also as another means of jobs. If you don't, so you don't really have to wait for the white collar jobs and all that. But joining me today to talk more about Agric, we have Abimbola Osho. Good afternoon. Thanks for coming on board. Thank you very much. We also have Mark. Mark, good afternoon. Thanks for coming on board. Pardon?
Good afternoon.
Sure. Thanks for coming. Well, again we have Maiwa. Maiwa, thanks for coming on board.
Good afternoon.
All right. So yes, Mark, did you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
All right, great. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, great. Abimbola was like, it's a no-brainer. She goes on again to say why she thinks it is a no-brainer. But what do you make of it? I mean, Agric, she says there's a lot of opportunities, especially for women. But in your own aspect, what do you make of it?
I think she's right. A lot of opportunities in Agric because there's always going to be demand for food in Nigeria, and we have a lot of we have everything in place more or less for Agric for to thrive. We have the right environment in terms of good soil for most of our food, for most crops, whether food or cash crops. We have the manpower, we have the labor, we have and then we have the demand. And we Nigeria spend a lot of money importing food. We spend averagely a 1 billion naira a day importing rice. A lot of import a lot of wheat, sugar. These are besides a lot of other crops. So it's a lot. It means that there's a lot of demand for these crops, and beyond just that, even for what even agri you can play the agri not just as someone who is growing, but also in adding value through processing, which is where we have we lose it, we're not played so well in it. So because a lot of crops are produced in enough quantities, but then because of value is not added to it, we don't get the most maximize it either in terms of products or in terms of money to be made. So yes, there's a lot of opportunities in agri for young people and for women, for everyone, especially for young people.
All right, very well. Then I'll come back to you and take you up on some of the things that she said. But let me just come to Maya and just have a feel of what Maya thinks about this subject. Well, Maya, let me come to you. Abimbola and also Mark have said what they said about the topic. What do you make of it?
Agriculture is agriculture remains a great venture, yet not tapped in Nigeria. And let me say in African context, I think if we can go into agriculture as a major source of the economy, if we can just fit into agriculture in Nigeria, for example, and base our economy on agriculture, um, active participation of the value chain from the product and produce to the consumers will create a lot of employment opportunity, and the quality and quantity will be assured in here. Talking about livestock agriculture precisely, we have what it takes in order to feed ourselves, but yet we are tuned to these foreign imported frozen foods, which are which have hazardous effect on our health. So I think if we can just factor in on agriculture, there is a better day for Nigeria.
All right, you say if we can factor in, there will be a better deal for Nigeria. But one of the major concerns is investment to drive. How do you drive investment?
Driving investment to agriculture. Agriculture itself is a venture that is investment tuned. From the production aspect to the processing aspect to the packaging aspect to the marketing aspect, it's all involves investment. The production aspect deals with, okay, let's talk in terms of crop or in terms of livestock. They have to buy the parent stocks. If it is animals, they have to buy crops, the seedlings and the seeds if it is crop. Now, with that, there will be an exchange of value. Then that would then talking of after that, the production of crop would have to have fertilizer application, manpower, and manpower for crop. Then for livestock, we'd have to have some things in place like the housing and vaccination, veterinary care, and so on and so forth. So from the production aspect to the processing aspect, processing it would involve a lot of people to be employed in one, and the second thing is it would involve an exchange of value, and from there to the marketing and to the final consumers. I think investment it is investment right.
Oh, okay, very well. Then I'll have to come back to you. But in the meantime, let me come back to you, Abimbala. You made mention of how important this is, especially to women. But now Maiwa is bringing about the issue of investment. And he's saying that it is investment driven from start to finish. But if you look at the fact that some ladies might not even be married, or probably they don't have the means to, probably invest in this venture. How do you go about investment? How do you go about getting those funds to invest first and foremost before you begin to reap the benefits of agriculture? Well, if you could just hold on, I think your mic is on mute. Can you unmute it from your own end?
I muted myself.
Okay, so unmute it now, please.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
muted.
okay, great. Can you just start all over again?
Okay, so the question you asked was that if how would people go about getting these funds? And I said that one of the best kept secrets is the fact that there's so many developmental funds available. In terms of, for instance, you have the USAID, which is the US government's aid in in investing in sustainable, what they call sustainable businesses, such as agriculture. You also have the FMO, which is run by the Dutch officials. I just found out recently that the Danish government also have one. So there's a lot. The IMF has, World Bank also has, and the AFDB had a directive a few years back to invest heavily in agriculture because they wanted Africa to be self-sustained on food production and also maybe at some point turn it around and start exporting food like the Asian countries do.
Okay, very well. I hope that comes to pass in the very nearest future for Nigeria to be exporting food, like you said, the Asian countries. But Mark, let me also come back to you. Abimbola made mention of these investment opportunities. That's talking about the IMF and the World Bank, thereabouts. She also made mention of Danish companies. But in Nigeria, we also have the Bank of Industry, we have the Bank of Agriculture. I think the CBN is also beginning to have this program also. I think investment opportunities program where you can access funds. But how do you see that playing out? How easy do you think it is for people to attract funds here in Nigeria from the local um, entities that we have? Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great.
Was that for me?
Yes, please.
Oh, sorry, can you take the question again?
Okay, so I was talking about Abimbola. Abimbola made mention of some opportunities, programs in outside the country. She spoke about the IMF. She spoke about the World Bank. She also made mention of some Danish companies that actually that sometimes approve loans for for investment drives. But we also have some companies that do give these opportunities locally here in Nigeria. What do you make of them?
Um, well, like you said, the truth is financing is actually becoming less and less of a problem for agri because even commercial banks actually a lot of them chase agri investment opportunities. The issue now is having people that are bringing ideas that are bankable, something that more than just usual. It's more than just usual. Get a piece of land and plant crops and harvest. You have to think about the whole value chain, and it could be at what particular part of the value chain you're coming in. And is it processing? Is it get into markets. So actually those companies can be able to exploit these opportunities to take advantage of them to their own benefit. And it's plentiful, whether it's via grants, whether it's loans, or whether it's equity investments. So, but it's you have to bring in something that you have to look at what you intend to do in a different way. How you going to make it different? How you going to make it more efficient? And how you going to make it profitable for them to put their money into.
Okay, but so some would even argue it's not even a matter of argument, but the society right now is even technology driven. Where do you find the balance between these two now, agriculture and even technology? Is there a balance?
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of interfacing between technology and agriculture. You can bring technology to make things better driven, better, more efficient. I'll give an example. Department of Agric, he was able to enroll up to 6 million farmers in an e-wallet scheme, and through that, many of them were able to get inputs better for their farms, and had a lot of impact. And that was at a period when, even though there was flooding in Nigeria in 2012, food prices scarcely really went up. So it's the different. There are no limits to how you can use technology in agriculture. It could be via having, let's say, you have an e-marketplace where people are able to access commodity prices online and buy. It could be via remote monitoring of your into livestock farming, like mine was into, and you can have you could use drones to monitor your cows. It's limitless. the ideas are plentiful. You call things that people are about. So there's a lot of interfacing between agriculture and technology.
Okay, very well. Bimbo, let me just come back to you now. I mean, when you talk about farming, there's this laid back attitude, especially from young people. But then it is an avenue that they could actually thrive in, because if you graduate from school and then there's no job, there's nothing to do. Some would say agriculture. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be a farmer. I don't want to get myself all in that dirt and all that. So what would be the attraction for young people to come into farming? Yes, Bimbo, that's for you. Can you please unmute your mic?
This is actually a very hard question for me because when you said if there's no jobs, they should go into farming. The first thing, I'm a very flippant person. The first thing, if someone had come to me and said so, I'll say, so wait, you want me to do manual labor? Is that it? So it's very difficult to persuade young people to go into farming. But the easiest way to persuade them is to use living examples. So if someone like Mayowa who came out straight from university and started a farm, if in 10 years time, I'm going to assume he's going to be one of the most successful farmers in the country, or if not in the continent. And then you use him as an example. Oh, look at Mayowa, he did this. You could also use someone like Dangote as an example, because people forget that Dangote made quite a lot of his money just from selling food stuff. Although they were processed food stuff, but it's still food. It's still food. So you could also use him as an example. It's better to use live examples, because young people of today, all they understand is the money. How much is it worth to me? So if you can show them that there is an economic benefit into going into farming, then it encourages them. Another thing is education. It's actually, even if you'll be surprised that there are quite a few people who want to get into farming, but they just don't know how to do it or how to go about it. So the key thing is to start educating the masses on how it is to get into farming. Like Mark was saying, the commercial banks are actually quite eager to get their hands on agricultural driven proposals, but nobody knows this. If we had like a good branding strategy on how to get all this information across to people, that there are opportunities there, you just have to come in, then they can come in. But it's going to be a very difficult battle. It's going to be very frustrating, and it will be hard to convince them. Although I think the best thing is if because someone said recently that agriculture has a very long value chain and there's a space for everybody within the chain. Maybe if we can try to make one part of the value, if we take it piece by piece, each part of the value chain, and focus on that, on the advantages of each of those value chains one by one, then maybe we can start drawing people into agriculture. Does that answer your question?
Oh yes, it does. So talking about, you even made mention of how Maiwa had.
Is about agriculture. Agriculture is fascinating and it's challenging. It has challenges just like any other business. Um, Young people into agriculture, young people can come into agriculture, but we are a nation of a culture of fast cash, fast means, fast earning, fast spending. We have to dissuade all these if we want to make agriculture appealing to people. Because one thing is this, agriculture is not a fast revenue, it's not a fast cash venture. It's a venture that you would have to like to wait. Your money will come in, but it will come in bit by bit. Because from let me give you an example. For an example now, a poultry, running a poultry business, which I've been doing. I realized something. I realized that it's not what you put into it that you just have it at the first harvest. No, I still have a lot of beds right now at the farm that are not yet sold. So those things are, and there are some challenges. And technology in agriculture, yes, technology is plausible and possible in a Nigerian context. We sold boards this December, this last December in Lagos as a pilot phase, using, okay, just mention us on Twitter, just a mention or a DM will come and deliver your bets to you at your doorstep. Yes, there are challenges. There are a lot of challenges, but it's possible. We need the media to bring out success stories of people that are into agriculture. We need much more of success story of people. We need the stories of pre-colonial eras, farmers that made it, the building of cocoa house. We need all those things out for people to say. Now, agriculture is not a venture for the it's not a penury venture at all. It's not a venture for the poor. As my little niece not long, I asked her, would you like to introduce me to your friend, as my uncle is a farmer? She said, a farmer? No, I would like to say you're a businessman. We have to like stop this. And I think with that, more people would want to engage in agriculture either passively or actively.
We're running out of time at the moment, so I'll just Mark. Let me come to you first. If there's anything that I missed that you'd like to restate or probably emphasize on, I think now it's your time. It'll be
Okay.
just your closing remarks.
Okay. Just something to reiterate, like Bibola said, agriculture there's a lot of value chain in agriculture. There are many places you can step into play. So you don't have to just look at it only from the perspective of having to go get a farm and grow crops or livestock. You can come into aspect of processing. For example, we get a lot of food in Nigeria because of that processing. We lose 30% of our tomatoes. About 60% of our tomatoes we don't process, we don't store, we don't, you know. So there are places you can look at and say, okay, how do you step in to to play there, and it's actually profit making. But again, like Mayo said, the issue with agriculture is we used to get money fast, spend it fast because of oil. We're taking oil pushes out. We need to invest and grow with it, and and nurture it any other business to grow.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. Mark, thanks for coming on the program this afternoon and sharing your thoughts. Maya, let me also come to you, just to get you in your closing statement. What I missed that you would like to restate, or reemphasize on?
Okay, I would like to say this. And we have a program that we about to launch, agriculture for all. Or whatever your pocket size, there is something for you to key into if you want to be a passive partner or an active partner. And then we are looking into organizing internship at the firm and projecting the image of agriculture in another context, different from the poor penury type reading venture that is on the mainstream.
All right, very well. Thank you all so much for coming this afternoon the program and sharing your thoughts with us. Bimba, let me come to you now also to get your closing statement. Yes, that's which will focus on anything you think I missed that you would have loved them to say or emphasize on.
There's just one advice I want to give everybody. Information is power. The most successful people in the world are successful because they had a lot of information going into whatever it is they were going into. And there's so much on the internet. People say there's no data, there are no figures, but you'd be surprised what a simple Google search can do. So if you're interested in agriculture, in any part of it, just Google it. And if you want to write a plan or a proposal, there's so many samples online. Just Google it, and you'll be surprised how much comes out of it. That's what I'm gonna say.
All right. I would also like to say that was free advert for Google. All right, but that's how we wrap it up today on the show. My name is Victor Matthias, and again, it's Hangout for a Channel Speak. Thanks everyone for watching, joining as well. So we'll see you next time next week for another discussion, something else. Thanks all for coming aboard.